But don't look in your rearview mirror, here comes number 8. He's a rocker and a roller and he sure knows how to shut 'em down. I guess he runs independent until the dead is back in town. Yeah, I guess he runs independent until the dead is back in town. That boy, stand on it, son.
And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that when Richmond had its first race in April of 1953, it was a dirt track and it was won by Lee Petty? But when the track became an asphalt oval for the September race in 1968, it was won by Richard Petty. So anyways, guys, welcome to the Nasboys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, a.k.a. Mike Bob Fan 101. With my good friends and co-hosts, Christian, a.k.a. Savage NASCAR.
What's up, y'all?
Cam, a.k.a. I Spy Cam.
Howdy, y'all.
And we have another guest for this week. It is IIam.MattGPastor.
What's up?
So, Matt, tell us, how did you get into NASCAR?
Well, I've always liked Richard Petty, and I've honestly started following Eric Almirola through the trucks, and I just followed him throughout his whole career, and I've been there.
Well, you have my deepest sympathy having Almirola be your driver.
Yeah. We're in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter.
You're barely in the playoffs.
We're above the cut line.
It's like the first time Almirola was in the playoffs.
We somehow made it. We somehow made it to playoffs this year.
And
But
we're
yeah,
above the
I'm-
cut line heading into Richmond.
Matt,
so I'm
you can
happy.
finally have an argument with me about Almirola being decent. Ugh.
anyways, yeah. I mean, Almirola fans, I mean, me being one too, we always get picked on, but every year we seem to get into the playoff. Every year it seems like almost we sneak in.
Okay. Anyways, let's get back to talking about NASCAR here. We're going to start off with the weekend at Darlington, the Truck Series race. What did you guys think?
I thought John Hunter Nemechek was going to win, to be honest with you. I was like, oh, man, I'm about to get a truck race pick correct, but I wasn't. In fact, was it Sheldon Creed that won? I'm pretty sure it was. Sheldon Creed won, and it was really cool to see him win in that paint scheme. It's not the first time he's won in that paint scheme this year. The truck race, to be honest with you, I didn't watch it, but I heard it was pretty decent. What about you, Cam?
Yeah, it was a good race. I mean, I was actually entertained. Seeing Sheldon Creed win. Honestly, I don't mind Sheldon Creed. I know there's a few people that don't really like him that much, and he's on my good side. And that paint scheme is just really good.
I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't watch the truck race.
Matt, I'm in the same boat as you. I didn't watch that much of it either.
I didn't watch highlights or anything. I just have no clue what happened. I just learned that Sheldon Creed won.
I watched the finish, and that was about it. So
I saw like one crash, and that's about it. I forgot all about it.
Dang, man. All right, so now let's take a look at what you guys have to say about it. 4 of you said great, 3 of you said good, none of you said meh/okay, and 1 of you said bad. No thoughts and no driver of the day. I guess I got to give it to Sheldon Creed.
Sheldon Creed.
Yeah, I mean, pretty obvious Sheldon Creed. He won the race. He led most of the laps. But John Hunter Nemechek, I mean, he could be another nominee.
From what it sounds like, it's probably Sheldon Creed or Nemechek.
All right, so now let's take a look at the Xfinity race.
Xfinity race was really good. And usually I don't watch the Xfinity series at Darlington. I just haven't been too interested in it. But so I'd say the 2 of the last 4 races in the Xfinity series at Darlington have been pretty thrilling. And this race, Daniel Hemrick, he won stage 1. It looked like he might be able to get a win. I was like, man, he's going to surprise us all and get the win here. Denny Hamlin came out of nowhere. He was up towards the front. We saw Noah Gragson up there as well. I thought Hamlin had it won until he had that pit road penalty, which honestly, it was a pit road penalty. It was against the rules. But if it was back then, that would have been a penalty. So I could get why some people be a little bit upset about that. And Noah Gragson, I was happy to see him win. It's been a while. It's about time he finally won this year. I was like, is this guy going to go to victory lane or not? And we talked about this, I think, either last week or the week before when it talked about the extension of his contract, that he's had some good races, but he hasn't won. Even though we know he's a good driver, he deserves a contract extension. It's like, when is he about to win? Well, he ended up winning this weekend. And Daniel Hemrick, if I'm correct, I think he spun out towards the end as well. Same thing.
18 just loses the back of the car. It goes for a huge slide. Great job by the 23 to miss it.
Is Brandon Jones and
Opportunities, 3 stages. Oh, and there's a spin, guys.
Contact between teammates. The 19 of Brandon Jones, the 18 of Hemrick. 2 Gibbs cars racing.
I thought it was a great race overall.
Sadly, I didn't really get to watch the race. I had work. I kind of got there like near the very end just to see the finish, and I thought it was a good finish. But besides that, I didn't really get to see much.
I honestly thought that whole time Denny Hamlin was going to win. Then he had that one spin.
Doesn't look like Hamlin.
Oh, sideways! Hamlin sideways at the end of stage 1. Hemrick goes by. Caution comes out. Hemrick's going to end winning stage 1.
Get rolling here when you can.
And somehow Noah Gragson ended up winning after not a very great season.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty solid race. I mean, not really too much to say about it. Just normal Xfinity at Darlington. Denny Hamlin not getting that penalty. That shocked me because I thought he was going to come back. I picked him for the race, and I thought he was going to make the comeback from getting spun out from the lap car. But that penalty, that both made me happy. But since I picked him, it also kind of hurt. But congratulations to Gragson. He definitely had a win coming. And that was really cool to see him climbing the fence with his crew.
Like they're going to pull a card out of Tony Stewart's notebook. We're going to climb the fence.
So yeah, that I have to say that was a solid race.
There was more wreck than I thought there was going to be too. I picked to win Brandon Jones, a horrible 33rd place finish, but we saw a lot of guys who people thought would run well that ended up being in the back. We saw Riley Herbst finish 38th, Sam Mayer 39th, Daniel Hemrick ended up 24th after his spin. Allmendinger was in 20th. I didn't know he was that far down.
I believe I picked Dylan, and no, just no.
Yeah, he finished 29th. Austin
Yeah.
Dillon did, and then Ty finished 13th.
Disappointing by Dylan, man. Just really made me look bad out there today, or not today, but when the race was happening.
Yeah. All right. Now let's take a look at what you guys have to say. 3 of you said great. None of you said good. 1 of you said mad/okay, and none of you said bad. Henry24257 says lots of action and the streak is over. Noah Gragson back to victory lane at Darlington.
Facts.
And the driver of the day is no one. Let's see who's really having a good race. I mean, Hamlin was having a good race, of course. Cup driver. He came back from the spin, but he couldn't help the pit road penalty. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll just give it to Hamlin.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Hamlin as well.
I can't give it to Hamlin just because of where he finished, but it's kind of hard to choose this one because a lot of the guys that ran well at the beginning of the race in stage 1 and stage 2, they dropped in stage 3.
Right.
For me, it has to probably end up being Harrison Burton because either Harrison Burton or Noah Gragson, because Harrison Burton was sore towards the mid pack, and then he worked himself up towards the end, but couldn't catch him. And that was a fantastic finish.
Fighting for the win. Gregson up high, keeps that momentum. One more time around.
Noah Gregson's going to run the hot line. That's what he's good at. That's where he's most comfortable.
Neither of these two drivers have won in 2021. One of them is looking to get to victory lane. Off the big side out of Noah. Here comes the 20 with a big run. To the bottom of the track. Does he try to slide? No, he can't get there. Gregson, Burton. It's going to be Noah Gregson out of 4. He'll win at Darlington.
I would say maybe if he had 2 more laps, he could have maybe passed Noah. But for me, I'm going to go with Gregson as the driver of the race.
Matt?
Yeah, I got to go with Gregson because he's had such a horrible season and he pulls off a win.
All right. So now let's talk about the Cup race. This is a pretty good race. What do you guys think of it?
I didn't want Hamlin to win, but I'm glad I finally got a prediction correct for the first time in, I don't know, about 10 races or so. It's been a while, it seems, since I got a prediction correct in the Cup Series. So I was kind of risking that pick because with everything that went down with the Twitter incident and just not knowing how well he'll perform underneath pressure and everything, Hamlin drove a great race. He was up there almost the entire time. We saw Kyle Larson give him a fantastic challenge at the end. And it was
in the regular season, but one of only 3 drivers that were winless, and now he's slow on the track. The 5 right up behind him. Smoke coming out from Larson. Larson up against the wall. It's a drag race to the checkered flag. Denny Hamlin's going to win it.
cool to see Larson win, and he tried his best. He rode the wall, but I was pulling for Larson win. You know, I really wanted him to win, but at the same time, I was like, Hamlin, I just want to get a pick right. And I thought it was a great race, though, honestly. I thought there was a lot of great passing and action. We definitely saw the outside lane working as usual, better than the bottom lane. There were some drivers that surprised me. Honestly, I was surprised by Ross Chastain, how well he drove, and it was really cool to see him get another top 5. Mark Truex Jr., he did pretty good as well. Your pick, Mike, he ended up finishing 5th, if I'm correct. And I was surprised Kyle Busch wrecked.
To have run here in the old cars and then watch these guys.
Oh, the 18 car's got trouble. He's been into the outside wall.
Right
Hard.
side. Wow.
Big
Hold on.
contact.
Come down. Come down.
Look at that right rear quarter panel.
Go to the garage.
You hear him. Take it to the garage. Let's take a look. He's on the outside of Austin Dillon. There's contact in turn 2.
That's just what you and Jeff Burton were just talking about, that the drivers not in the playoffs, they're still here to race. You know, that's the thing that separates this sport that we're in from the other sports, that, you know, you're not eliminated. You get to still be here. But how do you race around those guys that are in the playoffs?
Yeah, and we were just talking about give and take, give and take. That was a little bit too much take and not enough give at that point in time.
Big name will come away from Darlington. He'll come away from Darlington behind the 8 ball. Wow. He parks that car behind the hauler.
To be honest with you, I didn't think he was going to wreck that race. He ended up getting fined $50,000, if I'm correct, for running through the garage entrance too fast. Became a meme.
He almost ran over some people.
Yeah, he was acting like a school threat. And, I mean, he deserves the penalty. And I will say that, like, a lot of people were joking about, like, him being mad and all that, but I can get why he'd be a little frustrated because he had a bad car and everything. He did kind of quit on his team there because I feel like they still could have ran more laps and all that. He just decided to pack it up. And I thought it was a great race, though. And, man, what about y'all? What do y'all think about it?
You know, I thought it was a good race, man. I mean, listen, I don't like Hamlin at all. And you know, maybe there was a little oomph behind his wife being the way she was, and maybe he just had something behind him or something. I have no idea. But I don't know. It's kind of funny because if you guys didn't know, a lot of his teammates and stuff like unfollowed him. So I kind of think him getting that win was kind of like a big FU to everybody, which, you know, I'm not really happy for him, but, you know, good for him, I guess, in a way.
Damn, I checked it again. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I checked it again and they still follow him. So I'm not sure where that source was. I know I looked it up and I guess it just glitched that they weren't there.
Maybe they aren't. Who knows?
No,
It's
I
fine,
heard
but-
it from somebody in the community and then
Mm.
I looked it up and they weren't there. So either Instagram decided to be dumb or they didn't really
followed him
unfollow him or they unfollowed him and then refollowed him. So I don't really know.
It's
People
okay.
already
You know, I just think that like, you know, oh well. I thought it was a good race. Chastain had an impressive, you know, run. I mean, he's been doing really good. I'm telling you, he's gonna get a win soon, and that's a promise. He's gonna get a win soon. I can just tell. And with Kyle Busch and what he did, idiot. You know, and listen. And people ask why I don't like Kyle Busch as much as I could. It's because he does stupid stuff like that, and 50,000 fine was deserved. And yeah, I think he really could have hurt someone bad. So he's an idiot.
I'll have to add to what you said, Cam. I think Hamlin's win wasn't more like a thing or diss anybody. I think it was more like a statement. But what about you, Matt?
I watched just about all this race and it was really good. I enjoyed it. The whole Kyle Busch thing, he shouldn't have went into the garage area like that. I understand being mad, having a bad car when you're clearly a championship caliber driver, but he should not have went in there like that. But I picked Larson to win because he's a top driver on the top line. But Denny was up there because he hasn't gotten a win all season. This is one of his best tracks. So he was up there. I didn't expect Ross to be all the way in the top 3. And also, I didn't expect Corey LaJoy to be running top 15 this whole race.
Yeah. He did good as well. That's a great point.
Yeah, I like this race. I didn't think it was great like the last couple of races, but I did think it was a pretty good race. You know, obviously we saw Kyle Busch kind of acting like an idiot there. First with my take about that, I think that, you know, it's so funny how he's just such like a jerk and he just like doesn't care. So in a way it's kind of entertaining, but at the same time, it was wrong for him to just go through the cones like that. You know, I kind of thought it was funny just because, you know, he doesn't care. But at the same time, it's like, you know, that's not cool. These guys are just trying to get sets of tires for their teams. But I don't know. Kyle should have definitely went to pit road and tried to get the car fixed because he could have. But I don't know. And then his interview was absolutely hilarious. I probably can't show it because he swore a couple times. But yeah.
He's also a crybaby, so you know.
That's what makes him entertaining. But yeah,
we can't deny his talent though. He's a talented driver.
He's passionate. He's passionate.
I'd also like to say, I don't know if you guys can, but if you guys hear my dog's barking in the background, I'm sorry.
I mean, I kind of like Kyle because like he's very knowledgeable about the sport. Plus, he brings some form of entertainment when he whines. So worth it, I guess. But yeah. Kyle Larson at the end though, I don't know. I really wanted him to dump Hamlin, kind of, but I didn't think he would. He tried that like video game type move, which
I don't know how that worked at all. I don't know how he got that close.
It'd been really cool to see him win too, because like I got to see him in person on Thursday at my hometown track. He was racing a late models race and he won one of the heats in the late models, and then the feature event he finished 5th. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. He tried to pull Carl Edwards on Jimmy Johnson in 2008, but this time
a lap away from the checkered flag. And what's Jimmy Johnson do here? He goes to that high side. Carl Edwards is going to go to the bottom. There we go. Oh, drove right by him. Hit it with a car stick. Here comes Jimmy Johnson. He's in the wall. Here comes Jimmy.
We're back inside now.
Oh, wow. Carl Edwards trying to hang on. Here comes Jimmy Johnson down, and Johnson will take the win. Wow.
It wasn't like one of those slide jobs. It was just like he was just driving to go up against the wall. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, great race by Ross Chastain, and Corey LaJoie too, especially by Ross Chastain. That guy's getting a win soon. For all you people that think he sucks, he's gonna get one. Everybody was saying William Byron sucks. William Byron's this, including myself. And look at William Byron now. He's one of the championship caliber drivers right now. So yeah, let's take a look at what you guys had to say. All right, 3 of you said great, 4 of you said good, 1 of you said meh/okay, and none of you said bad. Josiah _ Calhoun, he's another member of the podcast, but he's not here tonight. I think he'll be back probably next week. We'll see. He just says crazy finish. And Henry 24257 says good race, but drama, but Denny could piss off. Wow.
Jesus.
And the driver of the day for one
that's a little
vote
more,
is
Henry.
Chastain. The driver of the day with 1 vote is Chastain, if you couldn't hear me.
Yeah, Chastain definitely be a driver of the day candidate, but I have to go with Hamlin, to be honest with you, because he was up front the entire race. He ran like a flat out great race. There was a couple points where he fell back a little bit, but he was always in the top 10 the entire race. And, you know, I will say, Henry, I didn't like the choice of words you had with Hamlin, but I do agree. I don't really like Hamlin as well, but I mean, you're just being salty that Larson lost. I'm just being honest with you. What about you?
Anybody else want to vote?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna vote. I definitely think that it's got to go to Hamlin. Chastain did really good, but just no.
I gotta give it to LaJoie.
I think, because Christian, you make a good point with Hamlin running up front for most of the race, but I think I'm going to give it to Chastain just for that unexpected performance. You know, he was holding people up like Joey Logano and Martin Truex. So that's pretty good, especially in CGR equipment. Hopefully, you know, he gets a win soon. He's one of my favorites. So, yeah. So now let's talk about some news. We're going to start off with the 2022 schedule. Pocono will be losing a day, and they will be adding Gateway. So what's your thoughts on that?
I didn't know the schedule was released until, well, I didn't know the schedule got released, but
I think the full schedule is going to be released sometime within this week, maybe next week.
okay, well then I'll go ahead and say what you said, the certain move with Gateway. I would rather have another track than Gateway. That's just being honest with you. I think Gateway's a good track. Don't get me wrong, but for me, it's Xfinity truck. It's always been that way. Just keep it the way it is. I don't see the Cup Series. I just don't really like seeing the Cup Series at Gateway. I just don't really like the sound of it. Pocono losing a day, that doesn't surprise me because people don't like it as much as it used to be. But we did have great races at Pocono this year. But that still didn't that still didn't prove anything to whoever makes the schedule because they got rid of it. But I really want to see Nashville Fairgrounds next season, you know, on the schedule. That would be a great track to have. I'd rather have that over Gateway, that's for sure. Same thing as North Wilkesboro.
You know, I have to disagree with you, man. I think Gateway is a cool pick to be on. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be interesting to see how they would run on it. And if it doesn't go good, then we don't have to do it again ever. And that's what I kind of like about it is that, like, you know, it's kind of just like a test race in a way. I mean, you know, you're going to see a real race, but it's like a test race in a way to see if, well, I mean, we never know. Like, what if it runs really well? And it's like one of the best races we've seen all season. I mean, you don't know until you try it out. So I'm actually kind of excited for Gateway. I think it's going to be cool to see, you know, how it goes. And, yeah, I didn't know the schedule was going to be released soon either.
You have a good point because I was wrong about Indianapolis Road Course. I was wrong about that. I thought it was going to be a boring race, and I was sure proven wrong. Gateway probably could prove me wrong as well, and I could see maybe a big pileup going into Turn 1 at Gateway just by seeing all the stuff that happened in the Truck Series. Just imagine what the Cup Series would do. Matt?
I like how Gateway is being added to the schedule because it's not a bad track in the Truck Series, and I think it'll go even better in the Cup. But truck driver, about what you said about how you think the Cup could just pile in at turn one. Truck drivers have more on the line because most of them are trying to get a better ride in like Xfinity or Cup. Cup drivers, they'll be more patient, I think.
Well, it depends on where they schedule the race, because I would rather them have the race early in the season instead of like towards the start of the playoff. Because if it's like maybe towards the beginning of the playoff, I could see it being a wreck fest.
Well, the thing is, I think no matter what, if they really do put that like right before the playoffs, that's going to be the stupidest idea in the world, because that's a new track they haven't been on before. If anything, you're just screwing drivers and making them look bad. It's just going to make NASCAR a whole mistake. That's stupid.
I think that it's a pretty cool move to have Gateway be on the schedule. It's kind of a fan favorite with NASCAR fans, and I think that it was just about time that it got added to the schedule. So I like this move. That's basically all I got to say. I like it. And especially with Pocono losing a date, I definitely didn't think that it deserved a doubleheader. So
I didn't expect them to add Gateway. I was not expecting that.
I wasn't expecting it, but I like it. That's basically my thoughts on it. And another piece of news, this is something that I just truly did not expect. NASCAR is rumored to be wanting to have the clash at LA Coliseum, which is a college stadium where USC plays, USC football. What did you guys think of that?
It just shows them by what that move. It's about the money. LA is the Hollywood, a lot of money rolling in. It surprised me. I did not think that they would go there or try to possibly go there. You have to think about this too. The timing of the race. I don't know what their track and field and all that's like, but the USC, because if I'm correct, USC, the College of Southern California, I think they have their track and field events there sometimes. And I know sometimes there's some football games at the stadium and everything. I just wonder, how are they going to make the track, and how are they going to be able to, I've been to the stadium before. They're parking. There is a decent amount of parking, but not a huge amount of parking, because it's literally right next to the Southern Cal University. It's just going to be very odd to figure out how they're going to make this work. And it's sort of late notice too, because if they would think of playing this out, they would do it maybe 2023, not this upcoming season. And it gives me Cars vibes from that one track in the Cars movie.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I've heard is that maybe it's going to be something like Bowman Gray, which I think that could be cool. But
Bowman Gray.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've never really even seen the Coliseum before. That was the first time I've really heard about it.
I've never heard of that.
I've never either. It's just the first time I've heard about it. I saw the news about it, but I've never seen it really until just recently. And I think it's going to be interesting. Maybe they've had it planned out for a while and they just haven't said anything. But I don't know. I just hope they don't rush the track, because if they do, who knows what could happen.
I don't think we should do this, because I think the Busch Clash should always stay at Daytona. It's always been at Daytona. I think it should stay there. Whether it's the road course or the speedway, they should just stay at Daytona.
Good point.
I think that this is absolutely stupid. It's clearly about money because of how big of a market LA is. How are you going to fit all these cars in the stadium? It's just going to be a rip-off Bowman Gray, but bigger, and more
I
people
thought this, but I didn't say it.
I'm sorry?
I thought this, but I didn't say it.
Well, yeah. It's going to be a wreck fest, but it will be very entertaining to see how stupid these guys drive. So
they need to do a figure 8 track instead of that.
I'd prefer that, dude, or a street course. I don't know, dude. Well, Formula One street course in Miami.
The thing is, it's just I don't know what they're thinking is gonna go good about this. I'm sorry, if they haven't had this plan for a while and they're just gonna rush into this, it ain't gonna go good. Someone's gonna get injured. I promise you that now.
Yeah, true.
It
All
won't
right.
go.
Well, I'm sorry.
It just won't go well.
I know. All right. So now let's do something that we haven't done in a while. Paint scheme review. We're gonna do something a little bit different. We're not gonna review a lot of schemes because I know there's been a lot of new schemes, but some of these schemes are gonna be like really like patriotic because both races this weekend are on 9/11. So we're gonna review a lot of these 9/11 paint schemes. We're gonna start off with Spencer Boyd's Easy Pull flagpoles. I really like this car or this truck, excuse me. It's a little simple, but it's got this nice picture with like the firemen putting the American flag up or down. I'm not too sure, and I like the model of New York City on the back. So and with the Twin Towers on a hologram. So I'm gonna give it a 9.
I have to give it a great rating as well. I like the way you described it. I have to probably give it about a 8.75.
I don't see it. I thought you'd like put the schemes down in the thing like usual. You're muted.
Okay, go.
Looking at the scheme, I actually kind of like it a lot. I don't know why, but just because like if you look on the hood of it, there's that little like streak design with the red, white, and blue, and it kind of reminds you of crest. I don't know why. But like actually looking at the scheme, and seeing the details behind it, it's pretty cool. I'd have to give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
I like it. It's got a lot of stuff going on all over it, and it's got a lot of detail, which I like about schemes. So I'll probably give it a 9 out of 10.
And then next up, we got BJ McLeod's Never Forget car. This one looks really, really nice. It's simple because it's got mostly a blue base with a red top. I like the model of the American flag there, and then another model of New York City. I'm going to give this one an 8.
It'd be really interesting if they kind of made a little bit of a meme, and for BJ McLeod, they put a cloud on his car. But this one's okay. It's not. It's to me, it's decent. It's not like a great scheme. I have to give it like a 7.
Yeah, looking at the scheme, I mean, it's okay. It's not the worst. It's just not my cup of tea. I guess you could say. I don't know. I just feel like I see a lot of the same like dark blue with the same red. I wish maybe there was like different colors of the of like red and blue, and like it'd be a little different. Maybe I'd like it a lot more, but it's just not my type. I mean, if I had to rate it though, I guess like if I'm looking at the scheme design, I give it like a 6 out of 10.
I like the scheme. I mean, it looks good. The blue and red goes pretty well together, and then the flag on the side's pretty cool. And also the star on the 8 on the 78 is pretty cool. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
And then next up is Eric Jones' 9/11 paint scheme for Petty's Garage. This is one of these that I gotta call out. It looks like Eric Almirola's Smithfield car when he drove for them first with the Petty's Garage. I don't know why it's just so simple with the American flag. So for that, I'm giving it like a 3 out of 10.
Ooh, that's kind of harsh, Mike.
That's really harsh.
I like the 43 paint scheme, so I have to be honest with you. I like how you described it. I get your point, but for me, I have to give it like a 7.
Yeah, it looks okay. I don't really mind it. I guess I don't. I'm gonna go with Savage, 7 out of 10.
I like it. I mean, it's pretty bland and everything, but I like the whole American flag thing, and it kind of helps it because it kind of looks like Almirola's old car. But I don't know if anyone else noticed, but on the back it has like the Twin Towers at the back of it, which is cool. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Oh, well, in that case, my rating gets bumped up to a 5.5. I don't know. I just didn't really like it that much because, well, I mean, it's not a bad scheme. I just had to give it a 3 because we've just seen it so many times. So next up, we got Kyle Larson's Hendrick cars. I got mixed feelings on this one. But first, we'll be right back because I got to end this Zoom meeting. All right, guys. So we're back. So we're gonna start off again with Kyle Larson's quote unquote 911 car. This is basically his car, but with glow in the dark stars on it. Yeah, that's right. They just thought, hey, let's be cheap and put some stars on it. Oh my God, this is so brilliant that it deserves a 2 out of 10.
I have to agree with you, Mike. I don't know if the stars are actually glow in the dark, so I can't say if that'll make the car.
That was a joke.
Better. Yeah, like it literally is the same car. So just because it's the same car, nothing like really patriotic, anything like that. I mean, there is red, white, and blue, but I'm gonna have to give that a 1.5 out of 10.
Yeah, this car is absolute garbage. First of all, the star stickers, whatever you want to call those things, they look like the ones that they give like little kids for being a police officer. Like, here you go, here's a participation award. Okay, that's the first thing. All right, second of all, it looks like the intro to one of those like 80s workout like videos. Okay, this thing is awful. All right, it looks like grandma jeans. Okay, I don't even think my grandma would wear a sweater like this. Okay, this is nasty, disgusting. This is easily a 2 out of 10. Don't ever show me this again, Larson.
That's a violation.
I'm gonna agree with you guys. That it's got no detail. It's some stars on a normal HendrickCars.com paint scheme. He didn't even try.
And I love that car too. So Larson, why you gotta make me rate your car a 2 out of 10? All right. Here's another one which is an L. Christopher Bell's DeWalt car. This one is kind of reused but cheap looking. The colors don't fit. What is with this blue with the yellow and the black, and then you got like the number that they use for when he drives racers. This is like a 2, another 2.
It's a very weird car, to be honest with you. I haven't seen a car with that like shade of blue since like Buckshot Jones 00 car from the early 2000s, late 90s. It's kind of weird that they added that. I can see why of course, they're trying to make it a little patriotic, but it just doesn't fit. I don't like it. It's like a 2 out of 10.
Well, the thing is, like, is there anything yellow that represents America? Like, I just want to know. Please tell
American
me.
Indian.
I didn't think you guys were like that money hungry, for one. But for two, it is just so ugly. It looks like I'd see this out of Toy Story. Okay, this is gross. I don't like it. I'm giving it a 1 out of 10. At least Larson's car had at least matched. Ugh.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's just straight ugly. Like yellow does not go with the blue. I don't like it. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. I like it better than Larson's because Larson didn't even try.
And then next up, we got a breath of fresh air here. Eric Almirola's patriotic. Smithfield, shout out to you for actually being patriotic. It's got the nice model of the Twin Towers on the left side, and we will never forget. And then on the right side, which I personally really like this, it's got United We Stand, which is something that I feel like should hold up today. And I'm going to give it a 9.5. Awesome scheme.
My G, Eric Almirola. And I was so happy to see this post. And I'm so happy that this paint scheme is going to be racing this Saturday. I love this car. I try not to be biased when it comes to making paint scheme reviews or picks and all that, but I have to give this a 10 out of 10.
You know, I just want to say, I hate to say it, especially when Matt's here, because it's like just not fun. But Eric Almirola's got really good patriotic schemes. Okay, he never fails me when it comes to like stuff like this. So I do appreciate him actually putting in the work and his team to put in the work to actually try on something. Okay. This is easily a 10 out of 10. And it's always different. Like, this is new. I like this a lot. And the words actually have meaning behind it, which I always think is even more cool. Like, you're going to see a car later on that's has no meaning behind it on the side. And you guys will see this. It's disgusting.
I'm going to start. I was saying it's a 10 out of 10. This is easily his best ever patriotic scheme. It's my favorite patriotic scheme he's ever ran. It's really good looking. You know, they actually try on it. They put Never Forget and United We Stand on it. They got the New York City on the side of it. It just looks perfect. It couldn't have done better.
And then next up, here's another L. Ross Chastain's Be a New Moose.org. That was a fail. What is this? This is trash. It's the same Be a Moose scheme that we reviewed, but oh, wait a minute. We're gonna put an American flag on the side skirt. Yeah, guys, we are totally patriotic. So you know what? For your patriotic effort, you get a 1 out of 10.
Mike, why do we get Talladega from 2020 flashbacks with that? But the moose, that's very odd. I don't think I've really seen a moose on a NASCAR before. So that kind of makes it a little funny. So I have to raise the rating up a little bit because of that, because it's something new. But at the same time, of course, I get what you're saying. The American flag and all that's at the bottom of the car. It's not up towards the top and all that. I can't see the hood. And for that, I have to give it like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, no effort in this. I think my 4-year-old cousin could do better on this, and he doesn't even know how to draw. All right, it just scribbles, okay? And that's normal. And I'd like to say though, I like how they put a portrait of Matt on the car on the left of the 42.
Oh wow!
looks really nice.
What? Matt,
thanks for
I've
calling
had
me
to give it.
Moose.
Listen, I honestly though, I just think it's a 0 out of 10 because they just didn't put any effort, and like it's not even a little patriotic, not even a little bit. Disgusting.
And finally, this is. Oh, sorry.
Matt didn't get to say.
It's not patriotic. It's got a moose randomly. I've never heard of beamoose.org. I don't know who would want to be a moose. I mean, it's an alright scheme. I gotta give it a 2 out of 10. They just put an American flag on the roof and the side and called it a day.
So I looked up what beamoose.org is, and the first thing that pops up is talking about a primary mission, 1,400 communities across 50 states almost, and it says it cares for children in need who deserve a second chance at life.
Okay. Well, that's a nice company, but they make terrible.
Does it have anything to do with the moose?
And
yeah,
I mean,
no, listen. I'm not saying I don't feel bad for the kids or nothing. I'm just saying that's a crap scheme. All right, trying to make it pin it, make us look evil on us. All right, that's not what we're doing here today. All right.
I'm just saying,
what kind of name is beamoose.org if it's about something completely different?
Yeah, well, it has nothing to do with a moose.
I think it has to do with like.
I thought it was a Canadian company with Be a Moose, and I didn't think that they were doing anything for children. And is the money, with them sponsoring the car and just putting an American flag on the side skirt, is that just like, I don't know, we need more money for the children or we need more money for ourselves?
Guys, it's kind of funny though.
Illinois, and it's partners some in Canada.
I just want to say this though. I feel like with the awesome portrait of Matt on the side, they should also add the whole beamat.com instead. Wow. They kind of messed that up a little bit. Okay though.
That's kind of disrespectful because I don't remember being a moose. I don't remember waking up today and I'm like, I'm going on this podcast and I'm gonna be a moose.
And Matt was like, I don't remember asking to be on a car like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not no moose.
Tough luck, man. Tough luck. I don't know what to tell you.
Lawsuit incoming from Matt. And then finally, we have the worst attempt. I have ever seen on a patriotic scheme. It's Bubba Wallace's DoorDash car. It's the same DoorDash car, and they forgot, oh, wait a minute, this weekend's race is 9/11. So what are we going to do? We're going to put a sticker. Yes, that's right, folks. They put a sticker on the car. An incredible effort, everybody. This one deserves a 0 out of 10 for DoorDash's money hungry you know what.
Okay, so I have a couple things to add about this. You do have a great point. It's it's not good, okay, because there should be larger logo, of course. There should be some more flag in there. One thing I will roast about this is their description on their post of the paint scheme. It sounds like something you literally copy off of another team, and it looks like something they copied off the internet and just typed in the description. That's what it looks like. And yeah, there's a lot of people though that like it in the comments, but they're all probably simps. But I'm just saying though that DoorDash, I used to be a DoorDash delivery driver, so I don't dislike DoorDash, but I just don't like this scheme at all, man. I just don't like it. Like Mike said, it's not good. Probably the worst one on here. I would say probably the Larson one would probably be worse in my opinion. So I think give this maybe like a 1.5 out of 10.
Well, the thing is, like, okay, so if you guys got this whole description and about, 9/11 and how they're honoring them and all this and it's heartfelt thing. And it's like, oh, how sweet. You put a sticker on to show your warmness for them. Wow. Congrats. This is awful. I don't know. I just feel like it's just so bad. I'm trying to find like maybe a positive about it, but there's not. There is not.
You can't find any positive. Like, it doesn't even deserve a rating at this point. Like, everyone's gonna rate it a 0 or below because it's just a sticker. That's the only thing they did. All the other teams go someone out. It's worse than Larson's.
Dude, I think Skechers could make a better scheme than this. That's how bad this is.
Literally, Be a Moose looked better than this.
Be a Moose is much better.
I'll be honest with you. Now that I look at it again, I definitely think Bubba's is worse than Larson's now.
Oh yeah, if I had to give like a rating about it though, I guess I'd have to give it like a -8 out of 10 because this is just a disgrace and awful.
No, I give it a -100 out of 10.
This is garbage.
A strong -101.
I'll just give it a 0 or 0.5.
Oh yeah, hey guys.
0.5.
We forgot that the race was on 9/11. So we're just gonna put a sticker because we don't have time to design a car because we're DoorDash and we're cheap.
Or we just decided to do the hood numbers the wrong way.
All right, guys. We're gonna do the top 10 right now. This is top 10 Richmond crashes, I believe. So coming in at number 10 is Martin Truex Jr.'s Busch Series crash in 2005. Here's the clip.
On a side, Martin Truex Jr. Still trying to get it there, but it's not going to turn.
Comes up on the back of Mike Wallace in 38.
Squeezed up into the wall.
And Mike obviously had no idea he was on the outside of it.
That's a wild ride.
Boy, that is unbelievable.
And in 2005, like I said, on lap 216, Truex was working his way through the field after getting a penalty, but got squeezed into the wall coming off of the 38 car of Tyler Walker, and he just rode the wall in a very nasty wreck.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And about 5 years later, the 38 car we ended up doing the same thing, but at Bristol. Number 9, I have Neil Bonnet crashing into the guardrail and getting stuck in 1985. Roll the clip. So this wreck happened in the 1985 Miller High Life 400. I don't really have much info about this wreck, but it looked really scary to me because it was just such a sudden stop. The guardrail could have went through the cockpit. it was a pretty nasty wreck, and it was pretty incredible that he wasn't hurt. I also have number 8 as well. So at number 8, this one was Sterling Marlin's crash, along with Jeff Burton and Jimmy Spencer. Roll the clip.
On the night of September 7th, NASCAR paused to honor the heroes of that same week, 1 year earlier. The result was a pre-race ceremony at the Richmond International Raceway that proved to be one of the most stirring moments in NASCAR Winston Cup history.
The NASCAR community will join all of America over the next few days in remembering September 11, 2001. We stand here tonight in honor of all those who fell victim that tragic day in Pennsylvania, in Washington, and in New York City.
Changed completely.
Hard into the wall. Oh, 2 more behind him. Jimmy Spencer. And the point leader, Sterling Marlin.
Marlin finished 43rd, suffering chest and shoulder injuries in the process. But the true repercussions of his accident would not be felt for a few more weeks. Marlin's mishap put Jeff Gordon in position to snatch away the points lead.
This one happened in the 2002 Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400. And pre-race, there was a special memorial and ceremony memorial, basically remembering those that passed away during the 9/11 attacks and thanking those that served on 9/11. So on lap number 8, that was when the wreck happened. Jeff Burton hit the wall hard in turn 4. Jimmy Spencer and Sterling Marlin were collected in this as well. Marlin ended up suffering some minor injuries and finished last, which hurt his point standings lead, which was cut to only 9 over Mark Martin. A couple weeks later, Marlin would have a season-ending crash at Kansas, and it cost him, chances to win championship. So moving on, number 7.
And then number 7, we have Dale Earnhardt and Darrell Waltrip's tangle, in 1986.
Here we kind of break the line of the fellow behind you. Here's Waltrip, keeps him straight, but he keeps on tapping. Now Waltrip on the inside. Side by side. Down to the inside.
Oh!
4 cars. There it goes.
There's Bo 9 into the fence. Joe Rudman spins around. Who's going to win the race? Where's Kyle Petty?
And why is my phone doing this? I have no idea. God's sakes. And here we go. In the closing laps, Darrell Waltrip shoved his way by Dale Sr. for the lead, but the Intimidator retaliated, resulting in them crashing hard into the turn 3 wall. Multiple other cars were collected as Kyle Petty snuck by for his first career win.
And moving on to number 6, we got the big one in the 2008 race at Richmond. Roll the clip.
Kurt Busch slow off the corner.
We got
spin, crash, turn 3.
Trouble. And they just keep stacking in there. What turned into one car problem over in turn 2 ended up with all these cars tore up in turn 3.
They're 3 wide a lot tonight, more than I've ever seen here.
Blaney, Yaley, and Edwards.
And I believe that just knocked Yaley up in the outside wall, and then they started stacking up behind. You see Compartier and the 10 car hard on the inside wall, and it was on from there.
It was Carpenter's teammate, Elliott Sadler, couldn't check up quick enough, got in the back of Patrick.
Boy, did you see Ryan Newman just go, all those guys going by on the apron. Nobody really got slowed down very much.
And Matt Busch, Kurt Busch in the 2 took a hard shot.
So on lap 230, the big one occurred heading into turn 3. Basically, J.J. got hooked into the wall by Carl Edwards, and we saw Patrick Compartier get sent to the inside wall, and it resulted in a huge crash. About 10 or 12 cars were collected in this one. And this race was mainly known for the Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kyle Busch incident.
There you go. Junior goes up the hill. Let's see if he can get a bite on the bottom of the racetrack. They'll be side by side down the back straightaway.
Ooh, man, that was tight off turn 2. He's got him. I believe he's got him this time. Oh, he turned him.
No.
Oh, he turned him. No.
Now here comes Clint Boyer to take the yellow flag.
Kyle Busch dumped Earnhardt Jr., and it basically gave the win to Clint Boyer as his first career win. So moving on to number 5.
Yep, and in at number 5 is the big crash on the last lap. Here's the clip.
Keeps coming up just a split.
See David Starr against the outside wall. Got some point ramifications. There's Jason Leffler. We saw there's Travis Quapple. Big wreck on the last lap down his turns 1 and 2.
That was a tough break for David Starr. It looked to me like Hamilton just went in there and stuffed him. I don't know what happened. We'll just have to look at the replay.
Brendan Gaughan, our Napa Dodge leading Rookie of the Year contender, also heavily damaged down there. All happening on the white flag. You see Brendan getting the helmet off.
Robert Presley also involved. There's Robert Sticky's truck right there. A lot of damage.
And that could significantly shape up our points, change our point standings there in the final laps. As you see the carnage down there in turns 1 and 2. And there's Jason Leffler in the Team ASC CarQuest Dodge. Jason credited now with a 12th place finish.
Tremendous amount of damage to that CarQuest Team ASC Dodge right there.
And there's a 75 of David Starr. What a job he did on the Spears Manufacturing Chevrolet, trying to hang on to that second spot.
That save he made earlier was pretty remarkable, but I don't believe he could. This one here was a little more than he could handle.
Here's what happened here on the white flag lap down in turns 1 and 2.
There's David. He tried to get down to the bottom of the racetrack. Wow, hard contact with Bobby Hamilton on the outside. He tried to get down in between those two trucks. Wasn't able to make it. Got contact with Bobby Hamilton. That sent him spinning. Sent Bobby Hamilton straight into the outside wall. And here all these trucks had nowhere to go.
From 2002. Tony Stewart had held off Kevin Harvick for the win, but in the final lap, Bobby Hamilton dived too hard into turn 1, taking out David Starr, and he nailed the wall. Bobby came across the track, taking out Jason Leffler, Brendan Gaughan, and others. He would unfortunately miss some races in the Winston Cup Series after suffering a broken shoulder blade and a cracked wrist.
And at number 4, Ashton Lewis Jr. and I'm going to murder this guy's last name, Jack Sprague's, maybe? Fiery crash in 2002. This is
Jack Sprague, you mean?
Yeah, have you said. All right, I told you I'd murder it. The wreck happened on lap 128 of the 2002 Funai 250. Lewis Jr. had finished second in the spring race and was looking for another strong run. Ashton and Jack Sprague wreck resulted in a scary-looking fire that resulted in a lengthy delay. Thankfully, they were all right.
And moving on to number 3, we got the huge crash at the 1973 Capital City 500 at the Richmond Fairgrounds Raceway. There's no footage of this wreck, so Mike will have some pictures up on the screen for y'all to see. Definitely one of the most forgotten wrecks in NASCAR history, and it was pretty crazy. So on lap number 4, Baxter Price got spun on the front stretch, resulting in a multi-car pileup. Dick Brooks was piled into the back of Price, and it allowed a huge fire to break out. Other drivers involved, Buddy Baker, Bill Champion, Dean Dalton, James Hilton, Benny and Vic Parsons, Lenny Pond, and Darrell Waltrip. It was a huge pileup. The race was red flagged for over an hour because of the mess. And Price, unfortunately, did suffer some first-degree burns in the wreck, but no one else was injured. I felt like this deserved the number 3 spot on this list. And I also have number 2. So moving on to number 2, we got a forgotten crash. It was Derek Cope in 2002. Roll the clip.
Well, back at Richmond, a terrible crash for Derek Cope. Turns 1 and 2. I mean, we were talking, look, the roof has been ripped almost off the car. That car is at the exit of turn number 2. He crashed going in to the turn 1 area, right as you turn down into the corner. That car looked like it just took off to the right and hit the outside wall a ton. What damage? Wow, hope he's okay. Top of your screen. Wow. Just a vicious. It's like the accelerator home. Like he got down the corner and he just never backed off. That's what it looked like.
On this list, but yes, another hard crash in 2002. Derek Cope crashed in this Xfinity at the time Busch Series race in the 2002 Fun I-250. Dale Jr. won the race from the pole. It ended up being a wreck fest of a race, but basically in this wreck, Cope, his throttle stuck going into turn one, and then the impact basically snapped the A-pillar of the roof of the car. It snapped that, and it made the roof basically like almost ripped completely off. And Cope suffered some minor injuries. He would end up missing I couldn't really find out if he missed any races or not because of the info I have, but he could have possibly missed a couple races after that. But now to number one.
And in at number one is Jerry Nadeau's career-ending crash. Here's the clip.
Just over 24 hours ago that Nadeau, driving the 01 car, crashed at a practice session. The 32-year-old driver from Danbury, Connecticut, in his sixth Winston Cup season, hit the wall at a high speed. Rescue workers had to cut him out of the car. An advanced life team used a cervical collar and assisted his breathing. He was taken away on a stretcher and airlifted to a hospital. Here's NASCAR Vice President of Corporate Communications.
While he was having a good season, he unfortunately had this terrible wreck where his driver's side had hit the wall during practice, while he was leading the session too, might I add. He suffered complete immobility on the left side of his body, a skull fracture, a collapsed lung, and broken ribs. He was given a 6% chance of living, but with the help of physical therapy 5 times a week, great medical care, and by the grace of God, Jerry was talked back into racing again in the fall. However, in a recent interview on the Dale Jr. Download, he revealed that he couldn't get an offer, got divorced, and went through some depression. Luckily, he did get remarried and has worked in NASCAR as a spotter, mentor, and has gotten better physically and mentally, which that's an unbelievable story right there. I never knew that. Like, I knew he was someone who was very talented and would have ended up having his career being cut short, but not that sad. But I'm glad that he's doing well today.
That's a great way to put it, Mike. And I felt like it definitely was a unanimous decision to have it the number one spot on this list, the worst NASCAR crashes at Richmond.
All right, so now let's get into the picks for this weekend. We got the Xfinity and Cup races only. For the Xfinity race, I'm going to go with my boy Justin Allgaier.
You know, you took that pick from me, Mike. I was going to pick him as well. I've seen Allgaier do well at Richmond, and I like the way the 7 car looks underneath the lights. I have to go with him as well.
I'm going to go Gregson. I think he might go back to back.
I got Cindric. He's top driver in the Xfinity Series right now, and I think he can win at Richmond.
And finally, for the Cup race, I'm going to go ahead and say Denny Hamlin goes back-to-back.
Wow, back-to-back. And for me, I made my picks over a week ago, my picks for who would win the championship, like every race and all that during the playoff. But I have Mark Truex Jr. He's won. If I'm correct, I do have Mark Truex Jr. win this race, and he's won at Richmond earlier this season, if I'm correct. And he's had pretty good stats at the track. So what about you, Cam and Matt?
I have Chase Elliott winning. I know that's a really random pick, but every once in a while I like to mix it up and go with a shot in the dark. And I don't know, I just feel like Chase Elliott, he has the moves for it.
I got Kyle Busch. I think he's got to make that 50,000 back up somehow, and I think he's going to win this weekend at Richmond, make up for Darlington.
And so with that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to Matt for joining the episode. Comment, like, and subscribe. Follow our Instagrams. Join our NASCAR Fantasy League, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
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 Yeah.